Hey, how's it going everyone? I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far and thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to be reviewing and letting you know my opinion on Ghost Recon Breakpoint and if it is worth your money in 2020. Also, before I get this video started, I just want to say that this video will be spoiler free, as I understand many of you who are watching this have not played the game yet and are probably deciding whether you should or not. I want to start with the story for Ghost Recon. It's honestly pretty hard to come up with a solid explanation for the story, as it kind of feels like a confused and jumbled mess. The main character, Nomad, who is a special operative in a squadron called Ghost, ends up stranded on an island after his team's helicopters are taken down by armed drones. Nomad is quite a poor protagonist in my opinion. For starters, he's extremely one-dimensional and sees almost little to no character growth or development throughout the story. Nomad isn't really anything special, and after playing this about 30-hour story, I feel like I know the same amount about him as when I first started the game. The supporting characters in this game are also quite poor. Characters like Jay Skell, Fox, and Paula Madeira are given some quite tragic and interesting storylines, but the problem is, these characters are hardly given any backstory and the game gives you no good reason to even care about them. The game just forces these characters into the game and goes, well, here they are, now care about them. This game hardly brought up any emotion out of me, and there were actually a couple of cutscenes where I just cared so little that I just wanted to skip them. The one bright spot of this entire story is the main antagonist, Paul Walker, who manages to get about double the development and defining traits than the protagonist, and he achieves this with about half of the runtime Nomad had. Walker's story from loyal and caring soldier to rebellious and ruthless terrorist is an interesting one, and he definitely deserved more runtime than he was given in the game. Overall though, the story is a mess, with a boring and straightforward protagonist who has no motivations other than the cliche, I want to save the world bit. Now, while the story was bad, I wouldn't even consider it the weakest part about Ghost Recon Breakpoint. The mission design in Ghost Recon is some of the worst I've seen for a modern open world game. Literally every single mission involves base clearing, and although base clearing is quite enjoyable and fun, it is not needed in every single mission. The base clearing gets extremely old and repetitive. The missions literally have you going from one base to another where you find intel, which will eventually lead to another base where you either have to rescue or kill someone. This mission design is so poor and repetitive, I would never expect it from a modern AAA title. I'd say the mission design is the weakest part of this game, so if you're planning on buying it, I hope you like base clearing, because that's about 98% of what this game has to offer. The gameplay in Ghost Recon Breakpoint is pretty basic. You can have a sniper, assault rifles, SMGs, shotguns, and a pistol. The gunplay is fairly decent, and the game does a pretty good job with handling recoil and bullet velocity. The movement on PC though felt a little clunky, but it may be different on consoles. I'm not really sure on that one. I highly recommend turning on unlimited stamina in the Ghost experience parameters, because you will run out of stamina and have to walk after only like 30 seconds of running in this game. The game has many cool abilities, and it has a loadout system where you can choose to have Panther, Sharpshooter, Medic, Echelon, Assault, and Engineer, which allows you to create your own build. I personally went with Panther because I love to do my missions stealthy, but there was a glitch with the cloaking spray which made it that it just didn't work at all. Nonetheless, I think it's a cool idea to pick a class and make your build revolving around that. It definitely could have been better, and they could have added more depth to it, however. The abilities are pretty basic and common in open world games, but you can get some really useful tools like night vision or increased movement speed, so that was a nice addition. Ghost Recon also added prone camo, which I liked, and it was good for staying hidden from enemies. Speaking of though, the AI in Ghost Recon is really bad. You can headshot someone right behind an enemy and they won't even notice somehow. And with the human NPCs being really dumb, the drones however are the complete opposite and extremely overpowered. The drones are by far my biggest problem with the gameplay, and while it's cool to have a new unique enemy type in drones, they are really annoying to deal with. Every time I would get spotted in stealth, it would be from the drones. You've got the recon drones that fly around the map and can detect dead bodies, hear gunshots, and can call reinforcements and alert the entire base to your presence in seconds. And then if you decide to shoot this drone so you don't get spotted by it, it will explode and alert the entire base. There are some abilities that can make you invisible to the drones for for a couple of seconds, but other than that, there's not much of a way to avoid them. There's also the behemoth tank that has a ridiculous amount of health that can kill you with a machine gun in seconds, take you out with a mortar from hundreds of meters away, and get this, it can hear your footsteps from up to 200 meters away. You don't have to face these things too often, but when you do, it's a real challenge. It's invincible to damage unless you shoot it in its weak spot located in the center of the tank, and that is not easy to hit. It took me and my 2 other friends just to take this thing down, and even then we almost died. The drones were a cool idea, but were executed really poorly in the game and just make your life 100 times harder. The co-op in this game is a mixed bag for me. It's very fun when you have a couple of friends you can play with and do some stealth coordination with, and do sing shots and even play the online mode Ghost War with, but the co-op doesn't feel like it should have been a focal point of the game. It makes doing the main missions extremely easy, even on the hardest difficulty with friends, and your friends don't even need to be on the same mission as you to play. One of my friends got the game while I was on the last mission of the game, and he joined and was able to finish the last mission with the cutscenes and everything without even having to play a minute of the game beforehand. The Ghost War game mode is pretty fun for a while, but it soon gets old and repetitive. I will say though, it is a lot easier to put up with the poor mission structure when you've got friends with you. Also, one quick side note, Breakpoint has something called the Friend Pass, where if you buy the game, up to 3 other friends of yours will be able to play the full game for free as long as they are connected to your lobby, which may be something to keep in mind if you're thinking about picking up this game. Customization is one of the bright spots in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. It has a huge variety of gear, paints, colors, weapons, and vehicles you can choose from. You can also edit what you want Nomad to look like with gender, hair, skin tone, and even the voice. Ubisoft has always been pretty solid with giving us good customization options, and Breakpoint is no different. The island Aurora is a fairly decent open world. The world consists of a mostly lush green landscapes and jungles/forests, and overall looks pretty good. There's a decent amount of loot you can find throughout the world that consists of customization options and weapon blueprints. One annoying part about this map though is its size. This map is unnecessarily large, and most times you will find yourself either fast traveling or taking a helicopter from point A to point B. There's little to no point in even having cars in this game, as they are far too slow at getting around in this massive map. The graphics in the game are okay, nothing about them really blew me away, and honestly, they look mostly the same and possibly even worse than the graphics from Wildlands. Now for a game with subpar graphics, you are thinking the performance must be pretty decent then, right? Wrong. I played this game on PC with ultra graphics, and most of the time, I averaged around 60 to 80 FPS, and in some areas it dipped to around 40 to 50 FPS. I also got pretty constant freezing, especially in co-op. Now you may be thinking this is pretty decent, but I have a very good PC, and just to give you an idea, I get around 100 to 130 FPS with ultra settings on Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey, which are much better looking games than Ghost Recon, so if you are getting this game on PC, beware of its performance issues. Ghost Recon Breakpoint is definitely not the best open world game out there, and I wouldn't recommend getting it unless you are looking for an open world co-op to play with friends, or you don't have any other games to play right now, and this game is on sale. In all honesty though, if you're really looking for a Ghost Recon experience, I would go for Ghost Recon Wildlands instead, as I believe it's a much more enjoyable experience and worth your hard-earned money. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you decide to buy Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and tell me your thoughts on it in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. That will be it from me. Goodbye, and stay stealthy, assassins.